The other
Hay
two
como
up.
o sea, centímetro, circunferencia, profundidad.
This land has been abused for almost 200 years. Industries that have removed the protective qualities of the soil. The wind is carrying the soil away. The plants are being clear-cut. And the animals have no habitat to live in anymore. The animals have no food. I think it's interesting for people to come to such a wild place as Southeast Arizona and see how they can make a difference. And so we're going to reintroduce that biodiversity, planting with different seed mixes. Now we're down here in the wash, and it's called a Madrean evergreen woodland that we're going to reproduce. So we're going to be putting paths in. We're going to have benches down here, and you guys are going to help me finalize some interpretive signage that we're designing for down here. So it'll be like a museum. Wow. You know, when you walk through, you'll learn about sky islands, you'll learn about the wildlife, you'll learn about what tree species live here. And these signs will be throughout this path that we're going to take now. And coming out to Southeast Arizona to work in a reforestation project, putting city people close to the earth, I think is inspiring for them individually. It ignites new neurons in their hearts and minds that come directly from the energies of the earth that's already set up to provide sustainable life support systems. And what's interesting to think about is that, 75 to 85% of the human race lives in cities, totally separated from the elements. And this is the end of our demonstration garden tour.
Wow, that one is stronger.
At the other end of the demonstration garden, where Pachi's going to take you next, is our weather station, internationally broadcast. It's called Bear Springs SkyHarvest at Wilcox, Arizona. You can tune in.
Yeah.
This is a demonstration garden to show what can grow here. And then the plan for SkyHarvest on the Bear Springs Reforestation Project is to plant 4,500 seeds. And it's going to go up there and working with the rainwater catchment practices. So you can see, yes, they'll grow here if you do these things to catch the water. Since there's only 2 rainy seasons here, winter, summer, so how do you make the most of using that instead of the water running down the wash, taking the good soil away? So it's a demonstration here how it can happen, and then an example for other places in the desert and this kind of climate zone.
So we are in Bowie, Arizona. We are in Diamond Mountain Retreat Center. We are starting a reforestation program. Ideally, we want to bring maybe a couple million new trees to this place and local plants.
Native plants have edible, medicinal, and aesthetic value and support basic ecosystem function. We seek to heal the land and ourselves by exploring a culture of place centered on a rich relationship with our native flora. Wherever you are in the world, if you collect the native plants, those plants work so well with that ecosystem. They know all the different insects that use them as hosts, that use the nectar from them. They're perfectly evolved to deal with the amount of rainfall, with the cold. The idea is that you don't have to baby them.
But there are some challenges to using seeds for revegetation, and those are basically in our arid southwestern United States systems. Lack of moisture. Our rainy seasons can be very unpredictable, so we can have very dry and crusty soils. Predation is the biggest one. If you broadcast seed just bare, naked, with nothing, ants will carry away so much of that seed.
So we're making seed balls, which are clay, and probably I think 50 seeds per ball of wildflowers and grasses. And so we're going to start planting those so it'll grow and start to retain the water. when it rains, and then we'll have enough water that stays in the soil to start planting trees later.
Seed pellets are basically a seed mix that you combine with clay, some kind of like nutrient-rich material like compost. That's what we use. And water. And you use the clay to bind and coat the seeds so it's covered in a layer. Most effective if they're combined with mulching and rainwater harvesting techniques such as basins, which we have here. And basically that's just helping rainwater and moisture collect in like a slightly lowered area. And then mulch also helps, create a slightly cooler microclimate that can protect the seeds when they germinate, and it holds the moisture in place.
Let your heart sink into the ground. Here, soil, green, moisture, nutrients, good topsoil.
So from what I understand, the biomass, so burnt up materials, it's breaking up the matter. It's producing a lot more nutrients for all the seeds and growing. So basically it's nutrients. But what's really neat is if you held it up under a microscope, and it holds like a lot of space, so it's like a little house for the little microorganisms to live in, so they can do their job better. And then it's just incredible nutrients for the plants, so they're going to grow so healthy. So it's much more than just fertilizer. It's live living matter. It can house them like a condominium.
Most of us come because we understand that we need to sequester more CO2. So planting trees is one of the greatest way to accomplish this. Some other reason could be, most of us, we live in the city, and we need that moment of connection to nature. That's why we come. Some others understand that we need to take care of life, biodiversity, little wildlife. So protecting life, basically. And this is a very fragile environment, so if we protect it, if we protect trees and plants, then we are directly protecting small animals, bugs, insects, big animals, bears, and eventually we are helping ourselves. Bueno, each basin, 3 scoops of biochar. 3 scoops of biochar. Yeah. Especially in the hole, okay? Like let's say 2 in the hole and 1 all around. Okay? There you go. And we mix it with the local soil.
Right.
Not
yes,
more.
Because if we don't mix it, it's gonna blow, no? Because it's more lighter.
It's preventing blowing, and it's also because you need the biochar inside. Imagine that the roots, they need to go inside the biochar. You grab a handful of this, and you make sure that there's around the possible acorn seed has enough seed balls, and then everywhere.
Like that,
just like this, and then you kind of help cover it.
Wow, it was a small one.
Puede fallar. ¡Tarán!
The volunteer program is an opportunity to invite people to a very unusual region in the world, actually, desperately in need of infusion of restorative activities that will return vibrance to the ecosystem.
My name is Mariel Rivera, or Mariel Ambiental. I'm an environmental engineer, and I come from Guadalajara, Mexico. I'm here because I'm super worried about the climate crisis, and projects like this really inspire me to do something about it.
¿Qué tal? Soy Mauricio. Venimos a apoyar a nuestros amigos de SkyHarvest para el programa de reforestación. Cosas que nunca imaginé que iba a poder tener la oportunidad de participar y aportar.
Hello, my name is Aldo Arzapalo. I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico. It used to be a forest, a lush, beautiful forest, but the trees were cut down. So this program has the intention and the dream to restore this land back to the forest it was.
Hi, my name is Janine Cahill-Jackson, and I live in Harlem in New York City. It's an opportunity to help others just from our actions. And so it's pretty amazing that there's a pretty small group of us doing a project. It's a lot of hard work, but that just through our efforts in 1 week, we'll literally and figuratively start planting the seeds to having the ecosystem change here. And then the ripple effects from that people care. That the people cared enough to start SkyHarvest and to start the project, and then enough people care to come help. And so that's huge, because that caring can then be taken back home, you know, when you're done volunteering. And we volunteered from actually multiple different countries. So if we all go home and take what we learned, how important is that? Short term, the importance of what we're doing this week is to plant these seed balls of grasses and wildflowers, and when they take root and start to grow, they'll start to increase the water retention in the soil. So it's like step one.
Hola, mi nombre es Ana Marcela Fregoso Gutiérrez, tengo 35 años y soy voluntaria aquí en SkyHarvest. Si puedo sembrar semillas, si puedo hacer algo por los demás y por el mundo, dije, pues vamos, ¿cómo no? Los animales de aquí se ve que se sienten seguros en esta comunidad. O sea, saben que aquí están protegidos y eso me impactó mucho. Y ver cómo es reforestar y que a lo mejor ese granito también me lo puedo llevar a mi ciudad. En un futuro puedo hacer algo ahí por mi localidad. Que conocí gente súper linda y que todas las personas aquí son muy, muy amables y se te antoja seguir haciendo ese impacto.
Hola, mi nombre es Eunice.
Y yo soy René, venimos de Guadalajara. Y siento que es muy importante para nosotros poder darle de vuelta a nuestro mundo, a nuestra madre tierra, tanto que nos ha dado.
Aprendimos, lo primero, el amor que todas las personas aquí en Diamond Mountain tienen hacia la naturaleza, hacia la comunidad.
Yo lo que más me llevo es el aprendizaje de todos los voluntarios y de las personas que estuvimos aquí sumando en este proyecto. Yo creo que eso es lo más valioso, el poder haber convivido, el poder haber encontrado gente que tiene los mismos ideales, quiere cambiar el mundo, que quiere dejarle algo a sus hijos más hermoso de lo que nosotros lo tenemos o lo vemos. Eso es lo que me quedo con el grupo y las personas.
So SkyHarvest is going to be introducing a lot of new models for how to provide for our needs as human beings. We've got a lot of creative young minds involved in looking at infrastructure, looking at methods to restore the vibrance of habitat that has been destroyed through harmful human activities on the land. So we're looking at soil. If we want this, then we want this soil.
Then we
down here.
need this part first. So this is what we need to see. You know? Nature's just having a friggin'
A caterpillar and a chrysalis on the same plant.
yeah. So imagine down there, just seeing this much life, this quickly.